What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mizik of the Fight Guys, and I'm also a Forbes contributor. In over 35 years of watching boxing, I've only seen one fighter ever who was superior to Floyd Mayweather Jr. defensively, and that was Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Unfortunately, on July 14th, Whitaker was killed when he was hit by a car in Virginia Beach, Virginia. The Norfolk, Virginia native was part of the famed 1984 United States boxing team that included Evander Holyfield, Mark Breland, Meldrick Taylor, Steve McCrory, Frank Tate, Virgil Hill, Henry Tillman, Tyrell Biggs, and Jerry Page. Now, how good was this team? Well, Mike Tyson didn't even make it. He was an alternate. It was one of the first American boxing Olympic teams that I'd ever paid attention to, and their greatness spoiled me. I thought that each team every 4 years was going to continue to be this good and continue to be a factory for world champions. And clearly, that wasn't the case. You could easily make the argument that Whitaker was the best of this esteemed bunch. Before turning pro, he amassed an amateur record of 201 and 14 with 91 knockouts. As a pro, he was arguably even more dominant. He won world titles in 4 different weight classes. That's a feat others have duplicated since him, but some not with the same level of quality opposition. After turning pro shortly after the Olympics in 1984, Whitaker won his first 15 professional bouts, including a unanimous decision victory over Roger Mayweather. Whitaker lost his first professional bout by a controversial split decision against WBC lightweight champion Jose Luis Ramirez. It was widely believed that Whitaker won the fight pretty easily, but he didn't get the nod from two of the judges. There were crowds of foul business from everywhere. Charges against Jose Suleiman and Don King came from everywhere. People said that the two of them were maneuvering to place two Mexican fighters, in this instance Julio Cesar Chavez and Ramirez, in a unification bout. Whitaker would ultimately have to shake off that loss, and he would go on to win his first world title, capturing the IBF strap against respected brawler Greg Haugen a year later in Sweet Pea's home state. Whitaker made Haugen look silly with his defensive wizardry as he tagged him at will, dropping him in the 6th round and nearly pitching a shutout on all three judges' cards. Whitaker would take his revenge against Ramirez later in 1989 when again he won all 12 rounds on two of the three judges' cards and successfully unified the IBF and WBC lightweight titles with a sweeping unanimous decision win. Whitaker staked his claim as the greatest lightweight of his era as he dominated greats and quality fighters of his era like Fred Pendleton, Azuma Nelson, Juan Nazario, Anthony Jones, Paulie Diaz, and Jorge Paez. Whitaker would win 15 straight times after his controversial loss to Ramirez before again being the victim of a questionable judge's decision. After a brief stay at junior welterweight, which included 4 wins, another world title after he defeated Rafael Pineda for the IBF crown in 1992, and in even more fame, Whitaker moved up to welterweight. He challenged recent Hall of Fame inductee and reigning WBC welterweight champion James Buddy McGirt. Whitaker won by unanimous decision to capture a title in, yes, his third weight class. With Whitaker now considered arguably the pound-for-pound king, he challenged Julio Cesar Chavez in a bout that was simply billed as the fight. It took place in San Antonio, Texas, and quite honestly, Whitaker easily outboxed Chavez. He should have earned a 4 to 6 point victory at least, but instead the fight was ruled a majority draw. Sports Illustrated produced a cover that simply read, "Robbed," and that matched the opinion of most onlookers. While most believe Whitaker won the fight, he didn't get the satisfaction of receiving the official victory, and he never faced the Mexican legend again. Whitaker went on to defeat Santos Cardona and McGirt in a rematch before moving up for one fight to chase a fourth world title in as many weight classes. Whitaker took on Julio Cesar Vasquez in March of 1995 at 154 pounds, and he walked away with a comfortable unanimous decision victory to win a world title in 4 weight classes. His Hall of Fame resume was already solid, but that fourth world title in as many weight classes made it ironclad. For the rest of Whitaker's career, he would continue to display his signature defensive style of staying low and counterpunching opponents to victory. He lost another disputed decision to Oscar De La Hoya in 1997 and a more lopsided one to Felix Trinidad in 1999. Whitaker's final fight took place in 2001, and it is the only bout of his career that he was stopped. However, the stoppage wasn't as a result of a punch. Whitaker broke his left clavicle against Carlos Boyorquez and was forced to accept a TKO. He retired with a record of 44-1, with most of the blemishes being considered questionable. Whitaker would go on to become a trainer for fighters like Calvin Brock and Zab Judah. He was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2007. His death on Sunday brought on a number of tributes from the biggest names in boxing. He was 55 years old.